Hello, dog lover. My name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners, and that is Harvey, Harvey the Beagle. Welcome to the another live session of Saro Dog Training, weekly live training session. This is our second to last live session before the end of the year, so it's very special. Today, I wanted to talk about a few things and also try a few things and also answer your dog related questions. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can type it in the chat area. If you're not able to type in the chat, you can call 604-990-1642. I'll try to answer your questions via phone, or you can email me at Boghozian@gmail.com. Let's give it a try to see if we're going to get any calls or any emails. I'll answer them. But easiest way is just to, um, ask your questions via chat. So also, I wanted to share this with you. I have these treats. I'm not getting paid for this or anything. I just wanted to show you these. These are handmade in Himalayas. These are Himalayan salts. They're very good treats. And I wanted to show you that these are the things of type of treats that I gave to my own dog. So if you have a dog who likes to chew and work on things, you can give them things like this. This is very natural, healthy treat. So Harvey is going to get one now. Going to work on that. And we're going to talk about dogs. That's done. So Harvey is going to hang out with us today, and we're going to see how things are going to go. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask your questions. I'm going to try to answer everything that I can. Meanwhile, I also wanted to talk about science-based dog training. This is the first topic that I wanted to talk about, science-based dog training. Science-based dog training is being known to be one of the key forms of training dogs. Many dog owners or many dog trainers claim to use science-based dog training. I also try to use as much as possible science in my own dog training. So I'm going to remove that so you can see Harvey. There he is. So if science-based dog training in general is a one of those methods of dog training that is not really science, because for past 100 years or so, there hasn't been any studies done on about dogs, and science hasn't been really there hasn't been any studies specifically done for dogs, regarding dogs. That's the problem. There are just few studies that some professor or some doctor or some dog lover will do some form of study about dogs. The recent studies that has been done about dogs was done by Dr. Gregory Burns, which I did a video about it as well. He studied dogs. He literally picked up dogs and he trained them to be comfortable in MRI machine. He literally put them in an MRI machine, and he studied their brain, and he learned about what they're thinking, what they are feeling, how they are behaving, all that, using MRIs. And he discovered that dogs, they love human interaction, praise more than treats or food, because the treats were when the human was giving the treats to the dogs, the dogs were not getting excited because of the treats. The dogs were getting excited because the human was interacting with them. And this is a very interesting and very important study that we need to realize that dogs are more interested with our interaction rather than the things that we give. So, for example, look at this instance. Harvey, I gave him the treat. The interaction that I give, you see, the action that I share with him is more important than the treat itself. So if I if I interact with him, he's more interested in the interaction rather than the food. You see, that's the key one. That's one of the keys that you have to understand when it comes to dog training. You have to be interacting with your dog rather than um, depending on tools and gadgets and things like that in order to get results. So this is very important for you to understand. And the one of the main studies that was done hundreds of years ago was by Ivan Pavlov, which came up with this theory that and understanding and the system that we use today, which is dogs. Uh, Many dog trainers and many dog lovers, they use treats to train their dogs because Ivan Pavlov, he discovered that dogs, they salivate when they think about food, even though if the food is not present, because he had trained them that at a certain time there was going to be a food delivered to the dog, and there was a bell to ring as well. And if you rang the bell and gave the treat, the dog would be anticipating the food coming soon. So therefore, um, so therefore, the dog would anticipate next time when the bell was ringed, and he would start drooling. So that would make the dog to be more motivated to kind of um, be food oriented, be more into food. I'm going to put it down there. I think it's easier for him to work down there. He's going to be absent for a little while. He's down there. Um, but interestingly, that research that Ivan Pavlov did was not based on um, dog training. It was based for digestion, to understand digestion. He was studying human and animal digestion. It had nothing to do with dog training. So that was something that that's interesting to understand, that there isn't really scientific studies done about dogs. There are just few of them that they do come up with studies about dogs, and they show up in our life. But in general, there is no science-based studies done for dogs. I'm just going to quickly check if we are live. It looks like we are live. Yes, so everything is working out. So yes, so everything is good. If you have questions, please feel free to ask your questions on the chat line. Let me see. So that's one thing that I wanted to talk about. Um, the fact that there is no science-based dog training in general. So if you see somebody or a trainer is claiming that it's science-based dog trainer, be careful, because there isn't really scientific studies being done about dog training and dogs. Everything that we know is just basically guess. So one of the things that I tell people is you have to understand your dog. The best way is to connect with your dog internally, like emotionally, mentally, and interact with your dog in that way. Therefore, you're going to get great results when it comes to training your dog. So science-based dog training is very limited. So be careful when somebody asks you, that tells you that they are dog trainers based on science. So I will be a little bit cautious about that. The other thing that I wanted to also talk about, let me see if I can share my screen so you can see as well. One study was done that it shows that the age, let me remove this and add this. So one of the studies also has been done is shown that the way we used to calculate our dog's age was wrong. Usually people add 7 years to a dog's life and they come up with the human average life of a dog. But apparently we were doing it all wrong. It has to do with the way the DNA of dogs are manipulated. So usually it doesn't match up. So in this study, let's see if I can show you. In this study has shown that apparently um, not a 7 week old puppy, a 7 week old puppy is corresponded to a 9 month old human baby. So that's when they are puppy. So you can see the difference now, right? And when they get older, the DNA starts acting differently. Therefore, we can't really estimate exactly how the dog is. But they have figured out a formula that it actually tells us how old our dog really is. So if you want, I'm gonna actually, if you can, enter your dog's age in the chat area and let's figure out your dog's age. So Harvey, for instance, he's 9 years old. Let's figure out how old Harvey is. Okay, so let's calculate. Wow, Harvey's human years is 66.2 years old. That is that is pretty old, I would say. But yes, it seems that he's 66.2. That is really amazing to think about it when you think about how old your dog is. That made me think. So let's say if you have a dog who's 1 year old, let's see how old a 1 year old dog is. A 1 year old dog is an adult 31-year-old human. That is fascinating to figure out. Um, so it gives you also a different perspective. The reason I wanted to bring this out and actually mention and talk about it is because I want you to understand that your dog may be a puppy, right? But a puppy is almost an adult. So let me see. Harvey, up. Good boy. Sit. Stay. Good boy. So he's a 66-year-old adult. Wow. Look at that. He is. Good boy. So it gives you a different point of view when you look at it from that perspective. I think if you see it, let me see if I can now remove that. Yes, we will go. When you look at it from that way, from a perspective that your dog is adult enough for you to deal with and understand it, and not to treat your dog as a baby. That is one of the biggest mistakes that dog owners make. They baby their dogs the way that they don't realize that what they are doing, they're humanizing the dog. And in this case, we are humanizing our dog as well. We are We're figuring out how they are in human years, which is kind of um, wrong way of doing it, wrong way of looking at it. But I wanted to bring this out because we need to understand, even though we are humanizing our dogs, they are not humans. They are not human babies or humans in a way. They don't have that concept of human understanding. So it's very important for you to not to look at your dog in a way that it makes you uh, be sensitive and weak. When we look at our dogs from human point of view, or we look at it from our, okay, it's our baby, or it's my baby, or it's my boy, or my girl. When we look at our dogs that way, we humanize them and we make them to become something else, which is not realistic, and therefore we we make them we make ourselves a weak person. And when we become weak, we can't do things correctly and we can't do it the right way. What's going on? We can't do things correctly. So I'm not sure if I have set up everything properly. Let me see. Everything is correctly set up. If you are online and if you're seeing me and you can hear me, please let me know by saying hi in the chat line, because I'm not sure if the chat line is working properly or not. Um, and I can't figure out if it's working properly or not. So if you are in a chat line, please let say hi and let me know if you can hear me or see me properly. I'm not sure if everything in the live session is going well or not. So when you humanize a dog and when you baby them, in general, you're not able to provide a good form of care for your dog, because then you're treating your dog like a, it's like the saying that we have, you're comparing apples and oranges. Humans and dogs, they may be genetically similar up to 25%. The next 75% is our differences. That's a big difference. And the 25% that we are similar, that's about it. It's a very little percentage that we can say the dogs are similar to humans. Therefore, we need to use human concept or human ideas into training our dogs or dealing with our dogs. When we do that, we make a lot of mistakes. We become weak energy and we don't do things correctly. So therefore, we we are struggling with our dogs. We have a hard time dealing with our dogs. We have a hard time understanding our dogs. We don't understand why our dogs is making mistakes, why our dog is um, doing this and doing that. We get confused ourselves, and then we confuse our dogs as well. So it's very important for us to think about, how do we learn about dogs? How do we treat our dogs? How do we make sure that we are doing everything correctly with our dogs? Um, Southeast Asian person says hi. Oh, great. So everything is working well, looks like. So that's great. Thank you for letting me know and being in the chat. So, yes, I'm talking about. Understanding dog behavior. So one of the things is that we humanize the dogs, and the other thing is that we also treat them. There are some trainers, some professionals in the dog industry who will tell you that dogs are wolves. right? So you have to, their ancestors are wolf or they are wolves, so you have to treat them like wolves, and you need to be dominant to your dog. You have to be this and that to your dog. Let me share my screen again one more time. I want to share this article. It has come from Action News 6, I think. But is it a dog or is it a wolf? I think they have come up, they found this um, puppy. Um, Frozen puppy remainders, and they did a little bit of scientific study about it, and they came up with an interesting article that again, all these articles that I'm showing I'm going to link them in the description that you can go ahead and watch it. But one of the things that we have to understand is, based on, again, research and science, we have found out that dogs are, their closest ancestors are gray wolf, and in some other studies also we have figured out that they are not only related to gray wolf, but other canine um, animals as well, just like jackal, um, foxes. You know, 18,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago, we might have crossbred them as well. Maybe dogs, some of the wolves with the dogs, or wolf with the fox, and dogs with a wolf, dog with a fox. We mix them up. And what we are seeing now is remainders of DNA of a wolf. It's not 100%. The wolf is not the ancestor of the dog. So the reason, again, I bring this out is because I want you to understand that dogs' ancestors who are wolves, yes, they are wolves, but it's like, again, comparing chimpanzees with baboons. They have the same genes, DNA, but chimpanzees are very aggressive. They are a meat eater as well, whereas baboons, they are very calm. Now I may be saying them the vice versa, the other way, but baboons are very calm, not aggressive at all. They only eat vegetables, but they share the same DNA. So us, with dogs, we share 25% of DNA similarities. Dogs and wolves, they share 99%, 95% similarities in DNAs. So even though they're similar genetically, behaviorally are not the same. So if you want to talk about science and studies that has been done about dogs and science and related to dogs, we have to understand that there are so many things that we have to still learn about dogs. Again, there hasn't been specific studies about dogs. There hasn't been uh, a, a group of people who said, let's take dogs and study. Most of the things that we know about dogs is a sub study of something else that has come up close to studying a dog. So they have kind of related to dogs. There has been just few studies that has been done about dogs, and those are very few, very limited. So therefore, we are not able to really understand dogs. What we know about dogs is based on many years of experiments, in a way. What I mean by that, the experiments is, we've said let's try this, and oh, it worked, so therefore it's going to work with all dogs. In general, I don't want to generalize dogs. In my opinion, I don't want to generalize dogs. Just say, this system is going to work for your dog. But dogs in general have the same concept. The understanding of this concept is that we know is, and what I've learned so far is that dogs have been bred to work for humans. That was the main purpose of breeding and creating dogs. The reason we made dogs, the reasons we bred dogs was to have them work for us. We wanted them to do something. And if they did something, we kept them. And if they didn't do it, we got rid of them. That was reality of life then and even now. So this is something that I want you to understand, that the reason we bred dogs was to work for us. So when dogs work for us, we created a bond that was different than anything else. We created a working bond, not a loving bond, not a relationship based on I love you and you love me too. It was just you do the work. If you do the work, you'll stay. It's like, when a company hires somebody, it's not because they love you, because they like you, uh, because you look nice or you look great. They hire you because they need you to work for them. If you are productive, they will keep you. If you're not productive, they will fire you. That was basically the way our relationship with our dogs started. We were just using them. Then after a long time, they became our partners in a way in the work that we were doing. So we were so dependent on these dogs now that we needed to have them around more and longer, and we needed to have them around us. So we created a different type of dogs. We created a dog that was not only working for us, but was living with us, family, became family dogs. So most of the dogs became working family dogs. And then we started calling them man's best friend, because they were doing everything for us. Now, about 200 years ago, when the world's system changed and we became more urbanized, and um, we moved into cities and started living in a city lifestyle, we didn't need dogs anymore as much as before. So therefore, we created pets. They became pets, and as they became pets, we started having different kinds of problems with the working family dog, now turned into a pet, a baby. And now we have created this these problems with our dogs, that now um, they are confused, as well as humans are confused. They don't know what they are doing in this society, and we don't know, humans don't know what to do with them. Imagine a working family dog living in a city who doesn't have a work, doesn't have a job. They will create different behaviors, and as a human being, because we're not using them as a working tool, we don't know what to do with them. On top of all these, we have been selective breeding them as well. Selective breeding, what it does is it makes it tells you that I want this and I want that. I want short hair, I want long hair, I want short legs, I want long body, I want big dog, I want small dog, I want medium dog. We come up with all these designer dogs. So now we have designer dogs who are living in a city without a work, where they were working family dogs. That's what has become. So this is why we have these problems without this is all these are the reasons we have these problems. Now, on top of all these, we are trying to figure out how to solve this problem, right? And we come up with science-based dog training. We come up with dominant dog training, domination form of dog training. We come up with clicker and treat training. We came up with science. Did I mention science-based dog training? We came up with uh, training dogs using shock collars, all these things just to solve these problems. And yet we still have these problems. And the reason this happens is because now my understanding is that we don't know what our dogs needs are. That's the problem. That's one of the biggest problems that we have. We don't know what our dogs needs are. Do you know what your dog's needs are? I bet you don't. You think it's just food, a little bit of walk, and a little bit of play, that's about it. But I have figured out that dogs have 5 daily essential needs that you have to provide. Training is one of them, but it's not the only thing. You can't just expect a good dog, a working family dog who's become pet and lived in human society, in an urban society as a designer dog. You can't expect it to have a good life. Harvey, come on, Harvey. You can't expect a dog. Come on, come on, come on. Up, lay down, stay. You can expect this dog to be living a healthy and happy life when you just focus on training your dog. You have to provide your dog's daily 5 essential needs in order for that dog to be happy, healthy, satisfied, in order for it to be a healthy dog for you. A healthy dog and happy dog is the dog that you actually love to have around. You can do anything you want. Here, I'm doing live and my dog is hanging out with me. If I go to a store, I can take him. If I go to anywhere, I can take him and he'll just hang out and be a dog, be a normal dog. You can have the same dog. If you want, you can do it. You can do it today. You can start doing it. And the reason I bring this up again is just to tell you that you have options. You can join my online dog training courses today, which I have the links in the description below. You can pick any of these 4 online courses that I have created, and you can join and learn about your dog. Now, some of them are free, some of them are paid, and one of them is free. This one is free. This one is the one which is the intro to dog training using play, praise, and affection. This is the course that will teach you and tell you that, show you as well, that you don't need to use treats or food to train your dog. All you need is play and praise and affection. If you want to learn about your dog's daily 5 essential needs, I highly suggest you to take this course. This course, A Dog's 5 Essential Needs. You can learn a lot. It's just $45 Canadian. It's a course that you can learn a lot about your dog. And if you like to go further than this, then you can join my main online training course, which is Naked Dog Training. Naked Dog Training, we're using play and praise as a reward system. We're not using treats or food. We're not using aversive tools like prong collars, shock collars, choke chain collars. We're not going to be using domination. We're not going to compare our dogs to wolves. We're not going to use um, ideologies that are hundreds of or more than hundreds of years old. Um, we're just going to use play and praise to train our dogs. That is my main online course if you want to join that course as well. Now, if you have problem walking your dog, you can join my leash training course. It's a very specifically designed for people who have dogs who are pulling on the leash or they don't know how to walk their dog. This will help you to get over that issue. Um, and also, I have the free one, as I said, Intro to Dog Training without the use of treats. The link to these courses are in the description. You can join and you know, learn about dogs as much as you can. Let me see. Husky Mom says, "Hi, any advice? My puppy has dysplasia. Um, I've been to the vet. He's 15 months old. Dysplasia. This is a medical term. I've heard of it. I'm not sure what really is. Let me just quickly figure out. I've heard of it. I just have to remember what it is. If I have any solutions about it or any problems. Can you tell me what dysplasia is? The presence of cells of a no. I see. So it is, it is cancer related. I've been to the vet. He's 15 months old. So it is cancer related. And let me remove this. Um, da, 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 da. Okay. So, I'm not a vet and I don't want to pretend that I know everything. But one thing that I know, one thing that I'm certain, and it has scientifically actually been proven that the diet of your dog is very significantly effective to your dog's health. So whatever you feed your dog or yourself is either medication or a drug or a poison. You know, your whenever it also depends on humans. What you eat is either can either be a medication or a poison. So most dogs who have health issues, especially a young puppy, a young dog, 15 months old dog, if it has developed already a disease, is due to being fed the wrong food. Do you feed your dog kibble or dry food, Husky Mom? Can you tell me, can you confirm whether you're feeding your dog kibble or dry food? If you are, that could be the problem. I want to assure you, there has been studies done, and there has been many research and many case studies that as soon as they have changed a dog's diet, the dog has literally cleared up its health issue. So if you think that there is a problem, there's a health issue problem with your dog or puppy, I definitely recommend to change the diet, not to stop feeding kibble or dry food and start feeding species appropriate diet, which is raw diet. Now, species appropriate diet is different than you know uh, pretending to compare our dogs to wolves. Wolves, as we said, is 95% ancestor of a dog. Behaviorally are different, but genetically they need to eat the same food. They eat the same food. Wolves in the wild, they eat raw meat. They eat the prey that they kill. So you have to feed your dog also the same concept, the same form of food. If you feed anything other than raw diet, you will help your dog to develop health issues, including cancer. Whichever cancer it is, it's related to feeding the wrong diet. So if you feed your dog the right diet, the proper diet, you will see that your dog's health internally is going to clean up and it's going to change. So I highly suggest you to definitely, I advise you to definitely change your dog's diet to raw diet. Now, there are several things that you can do. You can watch videos on my channel, which I talk about a lot about this topic, raw diet. You can watch and learn about that and understand what raw diet is and how to get started. Or the other thing that you can do is join Dog Dad. He has Dog Dad has a channel about all about raw diet. So that's one of the channels that I highly suggest you to check out. He has tons of information. It's all about raw diet, and he suggests and teaches everything about raw diet. So before it's too late, Husky Mom, I advise you to take action, change his diet, and start feeding the right diet. And this has been, again, proven and shown that if you do that, not only you are clearing up your dog's internal system and removing disease and getting rid of disease, you're going to prolong your puppy's life as well. Excuse me. So it's very important to change the diet. I highly suggest you to change the diet. We have another question from N20 GTR. Getting an 8-week-old Biko, congrats, puppy this Saturday. After then, potty training. What other training should focus on right away? Very good question. So when it comes to puppies, you're not really focused on training. You should not have. This is very important for you to understand. You should not have any expectations. You're not training. You are just introducing and hoping that things are going to go well. Introducing words, introducing new environment, introducing new situations, introducing yourself, introducing the new environment to the puppy. Imagine an 8-week-old puppy has been separated from its natural family members and is being taken away and is put in your home, in your family, in your household, in your living room, in your bedroom. Everything is going to change. It's going to be a shock to the puppy. So therefore, you're not going to be able to train as well because you're dealing with an 8 weeks old puppy. An 8-week-old puppy has not been fully grown yet. It's a good time for them to start learning new stuff, but they still are in shock. So there are many things that I want to talk about in this topic, but I'm going to make it short so you have some good ideas of what to do and what not to do, not to make the common mistakes that dog owners make, and also make a good decision, that you're going to have a great beagle, just like Harvey. So one of the first things that I did, I didn't first of all expect him when he was a puppy. I didn't expect him to be getting things. I didn't expect him to be perfect. The second suggestion that I have, if you're going to potty train your puppy, I was just talking about it, change your puppy's diet. Right away, start feeding homemade, home cooked diet or raw diet. Stop feeding kibble. Your breeder is going to say this is, or if you are getting it from proper breeder, your breeder is going to say that you're going to have to feed this kibble. Say yes, but stop feeding that food. Start feeding species appropriate diet. Why? Because if you continue feeding kibble to your dog, your puppy, you're going to lose the war of potty training. You're not going to win, because kibble and dry food will force your puppy to drink an extended amount of water non-stop. He's going to drink water and he's going to pee and poo all over the house, not trying to mark, or it's going to have accidents all the time. If you change your puppy's diet right away to home cooked diet, wet food or raw diet, either cooked home food. I have videos in my channel that you can watch how to prepare this food and start feeding those. You will see that you're going to win the battle of potty training within 2 days. Within 2 days, what you're going to do is you're going to feed the proper diet. Then you're going to take your puppy every 2 hours outside. No matter whether your puppy has to go or not, you're going to take it outside every 2 hours, and you're going to pick a spot outside, and you're going to say potty here, pee in here, pee and poo in here. You wait 5 minutes. If it does, bring it. Good boy. Yes, celebrate. No treats, no food. Just celebrate. Praise the puppy that it's done. Bring it back home. If it's done the business, good. If it hasn't done the business, hold on to it, hang on to it, keep it in the crate, put the leash on, hold on to it, monitor, visual, keep it under your eyes, monitor it. If you see that it's acting weird, it's moving around, it's sniffing a lot, take it outside. You do that for 2 days, your puppy is going to be potty trained. I know you said beside the potty training, it means that you're good with that, but I wanted to share this information for everybody to understand this. And other trainings that you want to do is definitely crate training. You want to make sure that your puppy gets used to crate training. The reason Harvey is comfortable on the couch is because of crate training. If you select a spot for your puppy to go there on its own and learn to be comfortable in it and enjoy it, in later life, they will be comfortable wherever you tell them to go. This is his couch in a way. It's in my office, but it's his couch. It has become his couch, so he's comfortable on it. Because of crate training, I have trained. He feels comfortable to go small space. Do you see how small this couch is? He likes to be on top of this on this little area. The smaller space you give to your puppy, the better it is. So the third thing that I would suggest you to do or not to do is don't free your dog, your puppy in the house. Say, go explore the house. No, no, no. Biggest mistake that puppy owners make. They release their dog, they give too much freedom to the dog. When you give too much freedom to the puppy, especially, remember, it's been separated from that location that it used to be. When it's put in this new environment, it's very stressed. You don't want to stress it more. Keep the space small as possible. A small room, crate, a small area. Just leave the puppy in small area, and every few days extend that small area, make it bigger and bigger, so it's more comfortable to be introduced that way. The other thing that I would suggest is leash training, introducing collar and leash to your puppy, making sure that your puppy is comfortable with the collar, is comfortable with the leash, it's comfortable to walk with you on a leash. The other thing I would suggest is definitely just because it's a 8 weeks old puppy, don't feel like you have to hang on and protect it because it doesn't have the shots and vaccinations. Expose your puppy to everything and any place that you can, and be a little bit careful. Yes, wipe the paws every time your puppy goes out. Brush its fur, so you don't want the bacteria to hang on your puppy, but your puppy has that natural immune system in its body to fight those bacteria. But within a few weeks, it's going to have its own shots, the regular shots that usually puppies get, and it should be okay after that. But if you protect and not to expose your puppy and socialize your puppy, you're going to have a puppy who's going to be very shy and very sensitive about people and the environment. So expose your puppy to everything that you can: dogs, people, cats, squirrels, everything. Let it just be exposed. And the last tip that I have is just remember that between the ages of about 4 weeks, it starts, most breeds and most dogs starts about 4 weeks. Beagles, I think it starts around 8 weeks as well. Between the weeks of 8 weeks and about 12 to 16 weeks, it's a period, we call it fear cycle period. This is the period that they, as I said, they are very sensitive because they have been separated from their natural living parents, and they are in new environments. So everything is like, whoa, whoa, what is that? What is that? They are very sensitive. Everything can make them to panic. Everything can surprise them. So you want to make sure that if your puppy gets surprised or reacts to certain things, don't go, oh, it's okay, it's okay. Don't do that. Let the puppy experience these new experiences so it desensitizes from all those new experiences that is unfortunately it's forced to experience in an urban human society. Those are my tips. I will be adding one more course to the lineup of my courses in near future, hopefully, which is going to be a puppy training course. The reason I haven't added yet, surprise, I'm waiting to adopt another beagle puppy, and as soon as I adopt a beagle puppy, I will be starting to document all the training that I do with this puppy, which is going to help me to create an online course as well. So hopefully in next year, I'm planning to get, hopefully if I find, this is one of the things that I have done, which is I have registered with few rescue organization, and um, I am in a waiting list to see if they will come up with a beagle puppy so I can adopt it. So N20 GTR, hopefully I answered your question and you got some good points out of it. Uh, Let me know if you have any other questions. Southeast Asian person says, our 5-month-old dog has been in a cage since he was born. It feels cruel to lock him, so we want to let him run around the house, but I'm worried he might get lost or get hit by a car. Any ideas? Yes. Um, a 5-month-old dog, it's old enough now to be outside. So what you want to do is keep it on leash. Now, being in a cage for people, they feel bad. But if it's 24/7, yes, it's bad. But if it's on in and out of it, it's okay. Uh, But don't feel bad to put your dog in a cage or in a crate or a expand. When you do that, you feel bad, and therefore the experience of the dog having that experience that it's in the crate, it becomes negative for the dog as well. The dog feels that. So therefore, I wouldn't feel bad. But you can't have your puppy all day in the cage. You want to have it out, but one of the things that you have to do is for the next 6 months to a year, you should have your puppy on a leash, attached to a leash, either a short leash or a long leash. If you're going outside, put it on a long leash. If you're inside, keep it on a short leash. It's with you, it's hanging out with you. You're in control, you're managing it, you're supervising the puppy. And if you can't supervise the puppy, that's when you put your puppy in a cage or in a crate. So don't feel bad. If you're gonna let your puppy out, you shouldn't be off leash. You never off leash a dog until it has learned the leash rules, leash walking, the techniques and ideas, and then you off leash it. You have to off leash your dog eventually, but not today, not now, not until your puppy has learned uh, the basics of everything. It's a Telomian dog. I heard they don't obey commands very well. You see, this is the problem. It's a dog. Dogs are designed and bred to do what the human tells them to do. If somebody or some information is telling you they have been bred not and they don't obey commands very well, that's a personal opinion. Dogs, remember, have been designed and bred by humans for humans. They are supposed to obey humans. They are supposed to obey what the human is telling them. Not to dictatorship, not in form of dictatorship, not in form of domination, but in form of guidance. You can guide your dog. You can tell your dog what to do, and your dog is going to do it as long as you tell it to do. If you don't, if you yell at it, if you force it, if you scream at it, if you push it, it's going to say, no, I'm not going to do it. That's why they don't obey you. But if you tell it what to do, they will do it. There's a difference between telling and demanding. You have to tell your dog. What is the difference between telling and demanding? Telling, your dad, your mom tells you, son, daughter, can you do this for me? Will you pick up the laundry? You will do it because you love your mom, you love your dad. You will do it. As much as it hurts that you don't want to do it, you will do it. But if your mom or dad yells at you and tells you to go and get the laundry, you're not going to look forward to do that again and again. Plus, you're going to be pissed to do it. Plus, you may not do it either. That's the difference. And Doria, he says, I have two beagles. By the way, love the profile picture. I have two beagles, both adopted as adults. Daisy will listen and obey commands in the house, but when we go to the dog park, she has a mind of her own and does not listen when called. The reason that happens is not because it's a beagle. It's because you haven't worked on off leash training your dog. So that's one of the things that I was just saying. You have to train your dog on leash before you off leash. So this is how it works. You teach any dog, no matter what the breed is, you teach the basics. The basics are this is where you pee, this is where you poo, this is where you eat, this is where you sleep. This is the basics. You puppy training, whatever you want to call it. You teach the basics, and then you say, this is how you're going to walk. This is how you're going to socialize with people. This is how you're going to greet dogs. This is how you're going to greet people. This is how you're going to do things in this environment. And then you start teaching your dog, this is what you're going to do when I say sit. This is what you're going to do when I say stay. You teach the basic obedience. And then you start teaching on how to walk properly on a short leash. And then you start extending this leash slowly till it becomes a longer leash up to 35 feet, for example, right? When it's on the long leash and your dog is listening to you and it's properly behaving and doing everything that you ask it, then it's time to off leash the dog. I'm sure nobody goes through this process. They off leash on the first day just because the dog is okay dog, right? Just because your dog listens to you 50% of the time, it doesn't mean that it's privileged to be off leash. So I wouldn't off leash that beagle, that dog, until I have full training done for off leash. That's how you off leash a dog. And Doria, hopefully that answers your question. Let me know what you think and if you have follow up question. And Doria says, Tiberius listens and follows me and comes when called. Daisy is the social princess. Yeah, so you could have the same breed but different behaviors. This brings up the same thing that I was talking in the beginning of the show, that I was talking about, wolves and dogs. Just because they are the same DNA, the behaviors are different. Imagine we have two breeds, two same DNA, same breeds of dogs, and they behave differently. Imagine two different species that are different. So even though you have two breeds of dogs, it doesn't mean that they're going to do the same thing, you know. So you have to work individually on each one. In 20 GTR is saying thank you. You are very welcome. And Doria is saying Daisy was adopted when she was 1 year half. Now she's 3 years. Tiberius is 6 years, and we adopted him 7 months ago. So is Tiberius listens, but Daisy, who's been 3 years, that is interesting. The one that you just adopted listens to you properly, but the one that you had for a long time is not listening to you properly. And there is a reason why that happens. When you bring a new dog into your life, even again, same breed, same thing, it doesn't mean they're going to be okay. When you bring a new dog to your life, the other one, the older one, is going to be stressed and is going to rebel also. This is common, this is natural, this is normal. He's going to say, you know what, I used to be the queen social princess, and you brought another one. What is that? Why the heck did you bring another one? I was the special one. Why did you bring the other one? I thought I was special. Why did you bring now? You breaking my heart, and so that's what's going to happen. It's natural. That would happen. So your puppy is going to rebel. So it's natural for her to not to listen when it's off leash as well. So yeah, uh, definitely that's a signal that Daisy is stressed. So you need to help with training. You can help her using training. Doing training will help to get not only the stress and get your Daisy back to track, but it's also is going to get her to listen to you off leash as well. Butterfly effect. Love the profile picture as well. Beautiful. Wow. I have a 5 months old Chihuahua mix with Yorkie, and she won't get along with my other dog. What can I do? How old is your other dog? And she barks at every dog she sees. Butterfly effect. I think the reason that happens is Again, when you bring two dogs, they there's going to be a conflict because uh, you know they don't like, you know, this is one of the things, misunderstandings that we have about dogs. Pack mentality. Have you heard pack mentality? Actually, dogs are not pack animals. You know, the concept of pack dogs, dogs being pack dogs, pack animals, is completely wrong as well. Again, the reason this has happened is because of selective breeding throughout the years, centuries that we've done. We have removed some of the traits of a wolf. Yes, wolves are pack animals, but dogs in this part, they have lost some of that pack, some of those genes, some of those things that represents wolf. Dogs have lost that pack mentality as well. So we, as a dog owner, we think, okay, I'm going to bring another dog to my life and I'm going to make my dog happy. But unfortunately, we're doing them wrong. We're putting more stress into them. Eventually, they will um, they will be okay. They will get along eventually when the time is right. When the human has done the proper steps, has taken the proper steps. Um, and she's 9 years old. Okay. Uh, so the 9 year old, the 5 months old is not getting along with the 9 year old. That's what I'm getting. So first of all, putting two dogs together, it's not natural. It doesn't make sense to the dogs. It makes them feel stressed because they were the only one. They wanted to be with the human, and now there is a competition. There's another one. Even though we think that they were pack animals, they will like more, you know, like we. There are people who have 5, 6, 10 dogs. They think it's good. It's very stressful for each one of them because there's competition. Pack animals, they like group. They want to be together, but dogs want to be separated. But because the human has created that environment and that situation, therefore they have to get along. So eventually they will get along, but a 9 year old is not happy to have a 5 month old in its life either. So therefore it will project. 9 year old, we just did a formula that I have just figured out that when you want to understand exactly how old a 9 year old is in human life, it's actually 66 years old. Imagine a 66-year-old with 10 months old, because puppies are still 9 months old. 9 months old is still a year and a half, I think, somewhere around there, 2 years. So a 60-year-old with a 2 years old, somewhere around there, right? Even 20 years old. Imagine they won't get along. It's a different um, it's a different energy. Naturally, they won't get along. One, because you have brought another dog into its life. So the 9 year old is going to say, I don't like this. Why did you bring this? So he's going to project negative energy towards the puppy. And your puppy is going to feel that energy and he's going to respond to that negative energy. So negative and negative, they're going to just pop, 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 just go at it. So that's one thing. Two different ages, right? Uh, are they different sexes? Sexes also can cause them to have conflict. Um, she won't get along with my other dog, and you said the other dog is 9 year old. I'm not sure if the other dog is a female or male, but the sex of them also can be the issue in conflict. So The solution in general would be training, but not just training. You need to provide each one of your dogs daily five essential needs. They're both females. Okay, so they're both female, or even worse. That, putting two females in one room, you know what happens. Okay, I know it. Wow. uh, so there you go. You got few things going on. So different, same ages, different ages, same sexes, different ages, um, different energy levels, and adding different another dog to the mix. Um, so what you want to do is you want to focus on providing your dogs daily five essential needs. Each one of them should have provide. You should be providing your dogs daily five essential needs. What are these daily five essential needs? Let's just quickly pick at it. Okay, so here's a preview of the course at Dogs 5 Essential Needs that I have available. Just because I'm running the live session is running a bit slow, we'll wait for it. And I'll show you what are the five daily essential needs. And meanwhile, Butterfly Effects says I have, no, uh, was it this? And she barks at every dog she sees. So the reason that happens, the reason now, not only she barks and doesn't like your other dogs, now the stress of all this negativity is causing your dog to be effective in negative form. So therefore, it's stressed and pissed at every dog. Everything that is moving, right? Including other dogs. So in this course, you're going to learn what your dog's five essential needs are. So your dog's five essential needs are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. These five things need to be provided on daily basis. I hope you can see this. So exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection, and these needs to be provided every day for a dog. Whether you have a dog who is okay, whether you have a dog who has behavioral issues, whether you have one dog or two dogs or 10 dogs, each dog has to get these five daily essential needs. If you don't provide these five daily essential needs, you're going to have problems. So if you want to learn more, join the course. It's available on my online courses, and the link is in description. So hope that answered your question. Let's see. Southeast Asia person says, okay, thank you for the tips, sir. You're very welcome. And also, and Doris says, thank you, Saro. We'll practice on leash at the park. And another tip, don't practice on leash at the park. That's another mistake dog owners make. You want to practice in your living room, in your house. Give you a good tip. You want to practice in five levels. In your living room first for a few weeks. After a few weeks, you practice it in your backyard. If you live in a building, in the hallway. After a few weeks, then you go to front yard. After a few weeks, you go to on the streets. After a few weeks, you go to the dog park. From your living room to the dog park may takes 4 to 6 months. You need to take these steps in order to get results. If you go straight to the dog park, you and your beagle are going to fail. It's going to get worse. And it's even going to get worse. So you want to practice it in a way that it makes sense. So I suggest you not to take your dog to the dog park for the next few weeks or months. Instead, just practice it in the house, in your living room, in your backyard, in the hallways, in the front yard and streets, then go in the park. There's a tip. And butterfly effects is correct. Okay, and also says they're both females. Yes. And also, she's butterfly effect says, okay, thank you. You are very welcome. We have one more question from Southeast Asian person. I have to ask, if dogs actually want to be separated, does this mean it's better to have only one dog? Because I'm thinking of getting another dog. Our current dog is alone when everyone goes to work. Very good question. Let me answer you in a proper way that will make sense. If you want to have another dog, you better have your first dog perfect. You better have a perfect dog in order to bring another dog. Let me repeat that. In order to have another dog, you better have a perfect dog before you bring another dog. Your Because if you bring two dogs now in your life, you're gonna your life now you have double the trouble, double the work, maybe triple or quadruple the work. You know what I mean? So if you have a bad, now I'm not saying it's bad dog, but it's not trained, it's not perfect yet. If you don't have that, if you have a dog like that, and if you bring another one, you can't expect this dog to make this dog better or this dog to make this dog better. You're gonna have your hands full. You're gonna go crazy because now you have two dogs who are gonna drive you crazy instead of one dog. So focus on creating one good dog. That's why I have one good dog now. I'm gonna adopt another puppy because now he can help me to raise the puppy. He is the perfect dog. I can use his help to help me to raise the puppy. If I had a bad dog, I would never think of having another dog. Does it make sense? So focus on raising your current puppy properly. And when it's good, when you have a good, perfect dog, you can have second dog. You can add the second dog because your first dog is under control. It's manageable. You don't have to worry about him. Now, Anne, for instance, was saying that, let me see, Anne was saying that she adopted another dog and the other dog is not good and stressed and all that. That's because the first dog wasn't perfect, to be honest with you, right? So that's my answer to your question. If you have a dog who's alone when everyone goes out, also you need to come up with a plan that somebody can come and take care of your dog for at least an hour a day. If you need to pay somebody to come and look after your dog, do that. If you need to take your dog or puppy to somewhere for them to take care of your puppy, you can do that. But you can't leave your puppy home alone all day. Remember, dogs have been bred and designed for humans. When the human is not there 8, 10 hours a day, that is a big stab in the back from dog's point of view. You know what I mean? It's not fair. It's not, I don't agree with that to leave a dog home alone for hours and hours when we promise that we will be our dog's best friend. A best friend wouldn't do that to its best friend. Okay, just saying. Amy Kucherer, I hope I'm pronouncing it properly. Amy Kucherer, my dogs are trained on potty pads indoor. How do I transition to outside? Very good question. The best way to do, let me see if it's possible to do it. I'm going to try it. The best slow down a little bit, but I will get to that video. I want you to focus on uh, they have been going inside for 4 years. They are small 7 pound Yorkies, so we don't bring them outside often. You should, it's again, this is one of those cases that dogs are forced to do their business indoors, which is very unnatural for dogs. Again, dogs will tolerate, will get used to the idea, and will do whatever you tell them to do. They will unfortunately do whatever you tell them to do. They will do it uh, because they've been bred and designed for humans by humans, so they will do it. But it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Dogs are clean animals. They don't want to do their things indoors. They want to do it outdoors where they don't live. Also, it's not natural for a dog to do its business indoors. They want to go outside, explore, sniff, um, pee and poo and mark outdoors. That's a natural way of a dog to live and behave. So let me see if I can share the screen with you again, once again. This is for everybody. So once you land on my channel, one of the things that you can do, you can go to my search button right there. You're on my channel, right? You land on my channel, you go to search. Again, you can type in potty, for example, potty training. In this case, we want to learn about potty training. You can search and it will show you videos about potty training. So any subject that you have question about, you can definitely go learn about it. So Amy Kucher, so what you can do, you can either do the search on my channel, YouTube channel, and come up and find this video, potty train in 48 hours. This is going to teach you how you can train your puppy in 48 hours to do its business. Um, all you have to do is take your puppy dogs to every 2 hours outside, basically. But I talk about it in more details there. Let me see if I can copy the link address, and I'm gonna actually put it in the chat area so you can uh, see. Hold on. So you can actually get the link from the chat area and watch that video and learn about it. So it is now in the chat area, so you can see it. Southeast Asian person says, got it. Thank you again, sir. You're welcome. So yeah, the link is there. And Amy Kucherer says, perfect. I just want you tonight. We want to teach dogs to go outside, so it's possible after all this time. Yes, definitely it's possible. You see, dogs will learn exactly what you teach them. What you want them to learn, they will learn and they will do it because they've been bred and designed for dogs by humans for humans. So they will do whatever we want them to do. If you want them to do this, they will do it. If you want them to do that, they will do it. They're happy to do whatever you ask them to do. As long as you tell them, don't feel bad. For the first 2 days, it's going to be hard because it's a different routine. Uh, just imagine if I ask you to, instead of eating pepperoni pizza, which you usually eat, for example, eat um, Hawaiian pizza, you're gonna say, I don't want to eat Hawaiian. I want to eat my own pepperoni pizza as always. But if the first 2 days, if I feed you Hawaiian, you're gonna. But third day, you're gonna say, wow, this is not bad at all, actually, even though it's Hawaiian, right? Uh, you're gonna get used to it. So the same thing with the dogs. Don't feel bad. You go with it. You force it, not force it. My bad. Don't force it. Plan it and just create it. Create the routine. They will get used to it. Be firm, clear what you want them to do. All you have to do is every 2 hours, just take them out. Whether they have to go or not, every 2 hours, take them outside. Let them do it. And Amy, thank you for being new to my channel. Make sure, let me get this properly. I'm getting used to this new system that I have on my channel. Remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon as well to get notified as soon as I post my next video or if I go live next time. I have a special video coming up this weekend, which I think you're going to like it. Um, and as always, make sure you join my online dog training course. If you have any problems with your dog, I have a solution. One of these courses is going to help you to solve that problem. And as always, thank you for being here. And I hope you enjoyed the show. Let me see if I answered everything. Yes, I think I answered all the questions. Thank you for being here live with me, and I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you have any questions, there are still questions. Make sure to leave them in the comments area, and I will answer them as always. I read all the comments and I reply to all the comments myself. And I love being interactive with my subscribers, my viewers, my fans. And next week is going to be our last live show for this year. Hopefully, you can join me as well next week, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be here, and there are lots of things planned for the new year as well. I hope you're gonna be part of this channel and part of this community. Thank you very much, and thank you for being here. And hopefully, you enjoyed the tips. Have a good night as well, everybody. Have a good evening, have a good day, have a good morning wherever you are. And until next time, have fun with your dog. Thank you very much. See you next time.